I've been thrown into the deep end to give today's, to facilitate today's session. I haven't even really looked at the verse. And so yesterday, Divyanam did text 12 and I'm doing text 13. Am I right? Is that correct? Yesterday, you all did text number 12, is it?
Just a second.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay. All right. So,
Yes, we did 12 yesterday.
yeah, so we'll be doing 13 today. All right. Let me, I didn't prepare any slides today, so let me, yeah, there we go. So let us start by reciting Mangala Charana prayers. And if anyone's joining us for the first time today, warm welcome to our chat session. We get together every day to recite either a whole chapter or parts of a chapter of Bhagavad Gita, and then we discuss one verse in particular. So today we'll be discussing from chapter number 2, chapter number 3, entitled Karma Yoga, text number 13. We always recite the Mangala Charanam prayers. Mangala means auspiciousness, to invoke auspiciousness. Om Jnanati Mirandasi. Akshu Shri Gurave Namaha. Sri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yata Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatham Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutan Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakam Vitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastate Tapta Kanchana Gaurange Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusuti Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpa Turubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shrivashadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschachadishatarine Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. So we are now in the section in Bhagavad Gita from text number 10 to 16 is how we transition from Karma Kanda to Karma Yoga. So you notice in both terminologies, Karma Kanda, there's the word karma, and Karma Yoga, there's the word karma. So the literal translation of karma is action or activity. So Karma Kanda means fruit of activity, and Karma Yoga means activity which links us with the Supreme. So any activity, it can have two natures. One, it can bind us, or it can connect us. Connecting means liberating. So the Lord is now instructing us how, through our activities, we can connect with the Lord. Now, if all the activities we do, what is the most common activity? It's eating. And it's preparing food. So the Lord is coming down right to our level, making it very relevant for our understanding how we can connect our most common activity. It can become yoga. So this is what this verse is about. Yagya shishastina shanto muchante sarva kilvisai bunjate te togampa pam papa ye pachanti atma karanat. So the word for word translation. Yagya shishta, of food taken after performance of yagya. Ashinaha, eaters. Santaha, the devotees. Muchyante, get relief. Sarva, all kinds of. Kilbisai, from sins. Bunjate, enjoy. Te, they. Two, but. Agam, grievous sins. Papaha, sinners. Ye, u. Pachanti, prepare food. Atma karanat, for sense enjoyment. Translation. The devotees of the Lord are released from all kinds of sins because they eat food which is offered first for sacrifice. Others who prepare food for personal sense enjoyment verily eat only sin. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. The devotees of the Lord, or the persons who are in Krishna consciousness, are called Shantas. And they are always in love with the Lord, as it is described in the Brahma Samhita 5.38. Premanjana churita bhakti vilochanena shanta sadheva hridayeshu vilokayanti. The Santas, being always in a compact of love with the Supreme Personality of Godhead Govinda, the giver of all pleasures, O Mukunda, the giver of liberation, O Krishna, the all-attractive person, cannot accept anything without first offering it to the Supreme Person. Therefore, such devotees always performed yagyas in different modes of devotional service, such as Shravanam, Kirtanam, Smaranam, Archanam, etc. And these performances of yagyas keep them always aloof from all kinds of contamination of sinful association in the material world. Others who prepare food for self or sense enjoyment are not only thieves, but also the eaters of all kinds of sins. How can a person be happy if he is both a thief and sinful? It is not possible. Therefore, in order for people to become happy in all respects, they must be taught to perform the easy process of Sankirtan Yagya in full Krishna consciousness. Otherwise, there can be no peace or happiness in the world. So the verse again, the devotees of the Lord are released from all kinds of sins because they eat food which is offered first for sacrifice. Others who prepare food for personal sense enjoyment verily eat only sin. So very nice verse. A verse that is bringing spiritual life into a very practical level. That we should eat food that is offered first for sacrifice. What does that mean? What does it mean to offer food first for sacrifice? Prabhupada explains that. It means to offer the food that we eat first to the Lord before we partake of it. It's our nature to want to enjoy our senses. Even when you see people on television, they have these cooking programs. And while the cook is cooking, they'll take the spoon and they'll taste it and say, very nice. So it is the nature of the conditioned soul to enjoy the senses. So for one to cook, before tasting it, before even thinking of enjoying it, to offer it to the Lord, that is sacrifice. So that is one level of sacrifice. That is in one sense, it's not spontaneous because one does it because the scriptures say so. But still, it's very good. And by doing that, offering our food for sacrifice, it's like we are just like when you have a disease, the doctor gives you medicine in a certain dosage to cure that disease. So in the material world, our disease is that we are the enjoyer. And Prabhupada says here, if one is both a thief and is sinful, what scope is there for one to be happy? So firstly, one is a thief because nothing belongs to us. The vegetables, the grains, the sugar, the fruit, everything, the water, the juices, nothing belongs to us because it's being supplied by the earth, by the Lord's energy. So if we take that, just like if, we take someone else's property, claim it is ours, and we try to enjoy it, then we are a thief. So in the same way, if we take the property of the Lord, which is all of nature's ingredients, and we say, this is for me, it's for my enjoyment, then we're a thief. And then secondly, if we consume something that is not offered first for sacrifice, that item is full of sin, meaning life, everything you do involves taking some life. Even the plants have life. So when we eat even vegetables, there is some killing there, and there's pap, there's sin. So Prabhupada is saying in the purport, if one is both a thief and one is sinful, there is no scope of happiness. So there are two types of devotees. The first type of devotees who has not developed shanta, they have not developed natural love. So they will offer sacrifice first to the Lord, but it's done more out of duty. But they become free from it. Just like sometimes a child will have something to eat, maybe a sweet or a biscuit. But before the child eats the biscuit, they'll say, put it in the parent's mouth first. You bite first, you eat. And why do they do that? It's because of love. This is something nice, this is something tasty. I like you to eat first. And then after that, I will taste. So the second class of devotees or persons, they offer Krishna their food first, not out of duty, but out of love. And then after Krishna is eaten, they think that this food has now been tasted by the lips of Krishna. This food is now been eaten by Krishna. Then they'll want to. Sometimes you see in the movies, some person they'll give the lover first to eat something or drink, and then they'll have after that. So this verse, Prabhupada is speaking from the perspective of the devotees, the Shantas. So sometimes we wonder, am I advancing in spiritual life? How am I doing in my spiritual life? Am I becoming cured of this disease that is binding me to this material world? This disease that I am the enjoyer. One of the first acid tests is how one deals with foodstuffs. The devotees of the Lord, they are not wanting to eat anything which has not been offered to Krishna first. They're very careful about that. And they only want to enjoy Krishna's remnants. And they won't try to eat anything else because they know that it is, if it's not been offered to Krishna first, then that food is not good for them. And just by the simple act of eating, of always remembering before we eat, even if we drink water, Krishna says, I am the taste of water. So the devotees, they always do that. And we see in the pastimes of the Lord, many devotees like that. They are so careful to only eat Krishna prasadam. And that is their life. So we should become practiced like that. And in the simple act, everything before we eat, we offer it to Krishna first. Then we will become purified. Prabhupada gives the example that if you take an iron rod and you put the iron rod in fire, just by keeping the iron rod in fire, the iron rod becomes fire. What are the properties of fire? It emits heat, and it emits light. So when you put an iron rod in fire, it becomes red hot, it emits light, and it emits heat. So it becomes transformed now to fire. So in the same way, when we keep putting Krishna prasadam in our body, the body becomes spiritualized. The body becomes spiritualized. So this is a very important. Prabhupada also makes a very interesting point in the purport. Prabhupada talks about the yagyas performed by devotees. Therefore, such devotees always perform yagyas in different modes of devotional service, such as Shravanam, Kirtanam, Smaranam, Archanam. And these performances always keep them aloof from all kinds of contamination of sinful association in the material world. Now this COVID is all around, and most people have taken the vaccine. So now that they've taken the vaccine, this vaccine, it keeps them aloof. Although you may contact the COVID, it keeps you aloof from the virus taking hold. So in the same way, devotees who are always engaging in Shravanam, Kirtanam, Smaranam, Archanam. This is very important. And I told you recently something, I mentioned a story which is very significant, and I want to repeat that. Because sometimes it happens to us. We eating something and we eat it, either a fruit or something we eat, and then we think, oh no, I forgot to offer it to Krishna. I forgot to offer it to Krishna. And then we feel bad. Now we've just eaten sin, we've just enjoyed it. This happens. But Prabhupada says something very, very significant in this verse. How can we prevent this from happening in our lives? We prevent it if we become shantas. The shantas, those who have love for Krishna, they don't have to think to offer. It is spontaneous. It is spontaneous that they cannot eat anything without thinking of Krishna first. When they got the nice fruit or the nice biscuit, the first thought they get is, if Krishna ate this, surely he would like it. And then automatically they think, oh, let me offer it to Krishna first. Let me offer it to Krishna first. And so the main ingredient is love. If we have love, we will never fall into this trap because we'll always think of Krishna first. If we don't have love, then it becomes an act where we have to force, we have to remind. It's not spontaneous. In the Krishna book, we hear the stories of the Brahmanas. They were performing a sacrifice, and there were many foodstuffs. Krishna and Balaram, first they send the coward boys. Please go ask the Brahmanas for some food. Say that Krishna and Balaram, they are hungry. Please offer them some food. And what do the Brahmanas do? they chased them away. They chased them away, not caring for Krishna and Balaram. Then the boys came back very discouraged, the Gopas. Then Krishna and Balaram says, don't be discouraged. If you go and you speak to the wives of the Brahmanas, they are my devotees. You ask them that Krishna and Balaram are hungry. Offer them. Ask them to offer. So Krishna and Balaram, the Gopas, they went to the wives of the Brahmanas and they asked and they said, oh yes, yes, Krishna and Balaram. And they offered many, many wonderful foodstuffs for Krishna and Balaram. So the point being here, without love, one will not be inclined to offer to Krishna. The other classes of people, they are spiritualists. They don't think that Krishna will be hungry, so they don't feel the need to feed him. They don't feel Krishna is thirsty, gets thirsty, so they don't feel the need to offer him some drink. They don't feel Krishna feels tired, so they don't feel the inclination to offer him some bed to rest. Because they don't consider the Lord being a person, their hearts are still hardened, so they don't even think about offering. I'm not sure the Mayavadis, if you go to an ashram of the Mayavadis, do they offer their food to Krishna first? I don't know. So maybe I'll stop here today. Let's take some questions or comments any of you may have. Does it make sense? Do all of you all offer everything you'll eat first to Krishna every day?
Yes.
Wonderful. If you don't,
Yes, Prabhuji.
then yeah, that's wonderful. And I think most of you will do. But if you all don't, just bring this into your spiritual life and just see how much you will feel connected to the Lord. How much more your activities will be spiritualized. And Prabhupada says hearing and chanting, simply by increasing our hearing and chanting, more we will feel that inclination to do. So I read one story recently. I was hearing something which has a significance to what we said today. Once Prabhupada first went to America, he had one follower. At that time, later he became Garga Muni. So everyone used to offer their obeisances to Prabhupada. They used to bow down. But Garga Muni would never bow down. So one day, Prabhupada was giving class. He asked for questions. And Garga Muni put his hand up. And he said, Swamiji, everyone is bowing down to you. But I am not bowing down. Because I don't feel like bowing down. Is that all right? And then Prabhupada said, no, you should bow down. Because by bowing down, the feeling for bowing down will come. So this means the same way in our spiritual life. Sometimes we do not feel like we want to offer Krishna something. But by offering Krishna food first for sacrifice, gradually the purification comes, and then we will become more and more inclined to offer it spontaneously. So let me see if there's any questions. I would like to ask anonymously. Okay, no problem, Mataji. Don't make any offering because I see. Sorry, I don't know. It's not coming. I don't make an offering because I cook my lunch and dinner for the next day in the previous evening. So it probably won't be considered fresh food. Okay, but when you cook your lunch and your dinner for the next day, the previous evening, why don't you offer it the same time you cook it? I'm not sure why that is. But even then, the next day, maybe you're cooking it and then you are freezing it. Offer it to Krishna. Krishna is still more interested in the love, the sacrifice you make. Okay, so you added, however, I do give gratitude for every meal. Does that count? There's a difference, like the Christians, before they take their meal, they say grace. And grace is basically gratitude for what they are receiving to eat. That is good. Offering gratitude for what you're receiving to eat. But the step higher than that is to first offer what you are eating to the Lord. So yes, Mataji, that is good, but offering it also, yes, that counts, but also it's important. I've also heard another question. I've also heard sometime people say Om Namo Vishnu when they are out in a hurry. I've heard people say Shri Vishnu, Shri Vishnu, Shri Vishnu. Yeah, I mean, that's okay. It's more out of duty. And sometimes circumstances. I had one story where the Prabhupada was so much in the mood to give people prasadam that straight out of the deity altar, you were saying distribute. The main thing is not so much the formalities, it's the consciousness of being grateful, and secondly, offering it to the Lord first. If we eat outside our home, for example, during lunchtime at work, how can we offer that food? That's a good question, isn't it? There are circumstances. Prabhupada says if you pay for it, it becomes purified of sin. So that is one element. The sinful part is taken off. But then we want to offer it, we want to make it prasad, offer it to Krishna as prasad. And if not cooked with love by someone, then it's more difficult to offer it to Krishna. But then we can pray to Krishna, please purify this. This is my situation, I have to eat. Krishna is understanding. Understanding will help. So that should be more the exception than the norm. Where we can prepare our own lunch, if it's possible, and we can offer it and we take it. But sometimes there's emergencies, and Prabhupada says if we pay for it, then it becomes, free from contamination. But we should try to mold our life where we can take lunch, prasadam, and so on. All right, those are the questions in the chat. Anyone else who's got a question? Oh, there's another one just came up. Does only a portion of what we eat have to be offered to Krishna, or should we offer the whole plate or even whole cooking pots we are about to eat? No matter, you can offer a portion. And we have offering bowls. You take from the pot and you put, and then whatever's offered, you take and put it back into the pot, and everything becomes prasad. It's not the whole pot necessarily needs to be offered. How long should we offer before we take? General idea is about 5 minutes. About 5 minutes.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Dandavat Pranam. Just a related one, please, on prasadam. If sometimes people serve us food without offering it, and it becomes a dilemma because sometimes it's close people, and then can we say Om Namo Vasudevaya and eat them, or 3 times and eat them, or are we allowed to offer them, or what should we do, Prabhuji?
Yeah, this is a good question, which many devotees. Sorry, let me just decline this call. Many devotees face, what to do. Um, some devotees, different devotees take different approaches. Some of them mentally they pray to Krishna that I'm taking this food. It's a difficult circumstance. It's not cooked by devotees. But I know these ingredients are provided by you, by Krishna. Please, if you so wish to be merciful to me, sanctify this food stuff. Sanctify this food stuff. So they pray to Krishna to sanctify the food stuff. Some devotees, they even choose to offer it to Krishna in their own way. So different devotees take different approaches. I'm not going to be one to advocate a particular way. It is a difficult situation to find those, because really Krishna feels inclined to only eat that which is offered, which is cooked by his devotees with love. And if something is cooked by someone in the wrong consciousness, we wouldn't ourselves want to offer Krishna that. So we may pray to Krishna to protect us from any reactions that comes from that, and so on. Or to sanctify it in whatever way, if he so chooses, if he feels it's good to please sanctify it. So that's all I can say, Prabhu. It's
That's very helpful, Prabhu. In a way, that's the situation comes, and I only tend to say, Krishna, I don't know what to do with this. It's up to you, Bhagavan, to decide. It's so difficult. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Another question came here. Thank you for the session on the topic of food. Giving food to the hungry, poor, or books to the hungry is important. Thank you. Yes, serving sanctified foodstuffs is important. How long should we offer before we take? I discussed that. Any other questions or comments? Anyone has corrections?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Yes, Danun Pranam. Wonderful class. Thank you, Prabhuji. I was just going to share a very humble realization that, the days that you are eating at the temple or something, but you cook for your deities, and that day somehow the food turns out so nice because you're only cooking for the deities. I just feel that the taste is so special. Because you're going to obviously have your prasad at the temple, say for example, then you make it for them, and then that prasad is just so special.
Yes,
because you're not cooking for the rest of the family, but just for the deities.
Yeah, nice.
Do you find that?
Yes, I think many devotees find that when the consciousness is it's exclusively for Krishna, and then all other considerations are out of the way, then that offering becomes very special because it's made not with any other consciousness in mind. It's just purely for Krishna's pleasure. Yeah, that's the point. Thank you, Mataji. Anyone else?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, can you hear me?
I can, yes.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I have some similar questions on the food, Prabhuji. Maybe if you already answered, sorry if I'm asking duplicate question. So basically, I'm offering bhoga to Krishna like 3 times whenever I'm eating. So I'm cooking fresh food. I know you answered the like offering the old food or no stale food, so that I'm fine. So sometimes we go out in the morning and we don't come back home even in the night. Like if I take tomorrow an example, morning I'm going to Balaji's temple. From there I'm going to London Manor temple. So by the time I back home, it will be like 10:30 night in the night. So what I'm doing is before I go out, I'm putting deities to sleep and then going. So is this approachable? Is this correct process? Because I don't want them to keep them awake. And then when I come in the late, I can't put them into sleep and leaving them not having any food. So I feel like, I'm eating there outside, but I'm not giving any food. At least if I put them to sleep, maybe they will go somewhere, and I don't know. So I'm just trying to say, I don't know what Prabhuji, whether it's correct or not.
Thank you
If you
for
can
sharing your
correct me.
situation, Prabhu. Well, there's a few points I want to make in this respect. The first thing is, yeah, the deities we have at home, they're worshipped a slightly different standard from the deities in the temple. Also, being householders, routine sometimes come in the way of having a very regulated way of worshipping the deities and deity worship. But also there's something called Manusa Puja, where if you, for some reason, are unable to feed the deities, you can go through the whole process of feeding the deities in your mind, cooking for them, making the offering, taking out the offering, making sure that they're enjoying it. That is called Manusa Puja. In the Nectar of Devotion, Srila Rupa Goswami gives one example of one Brahmana who used to make sweet rice for the deities, but one day he couldn't. So in his mind, he went through the whole process of making kheer. And kheer needs to be served cooled. So at one point in time in his mind, in his manasa, in his puja, he would always have the habit of first, touching the kheer to feel the temperature. So in his manasa, in his mind, while he's doing this manasa offering, he touched the sweet and he got burnt. And we got up. When he got burnt, he got up. And then he was thinking, but I wasn't offering, I was doing Manusa Puja, Manusa offering. How did I get my finger burnt? And the Lord was witnessing this and he smiled. And Narad Muni was asking him why he's smiling. And the Lord related the story. So that is also there, the whole process or the whole act of devotion, which becomes a connection with the Lord, can also be done within the mind. So that's something maybe you can also think about.
Okay, thank you, Prabhuji. And is it okay if I, because even the night I'm coming late, right? So I don't want them to put to the sleep late. So is it okay if I put them to sleep early and they leave the house?
Yes, I do that sometimes also.
Okay.
Some extreme
Okay.
circumstances, yes.
Yeah. The way I'm putting is this house is yours. I'm
Yes.
just making things ready for you. You
Yes.
do whatever you want. Whenever you feel sleep, please sleep. I wouldn't be available. I'm just doing like this and going Prabhuji. And as you said, before I honor any prasadam, I'm again praying, saying that I couldn't offer you, but I'm having this prasadam. I hope you have something. So I'm saying those things in the mind and then honoring the prasadam in the temple.
Nice bhava. Yeah, nice, Prabhu. The main thing is consciousness and connection. Formalities are different, Like
Okay,
we know in the Ramayana, Shabri, she was tasting this berries and chewing them and then offering it to the Lord, but the Lord was accepting. Our focus is more on bhakti, on the devotion, than formalities. So there's one last comment here. Oh, one Mataji says, is it all right to offer only fruits to Bhagavan Sri Krishna? Yes, it's fine, but Prabhupada said, why only fruits? If you're eating other things, why not offer rice, sabji, oliver, sweet? Krishna is a person. Just like you, if someone only offers you fruits every day, you get a little bored of it. You want rice, you want sabji, you want kachori, you want drink, you want so much. So why only offer Krishna fruit? Why not offer him variety? He likes variety. He likes enjoying different rasas. But fruits is okay, but also other things are better. Another comment, questions? Just a comment. We should be as staunch as Jewish who eat only kosher, or Mohammedans who eat only halal. If they're able to do, we are not vegetarian, we are prasadians. To be a prasadian, we simply have to offer to Krishna, easy to do in comparison. How wonderful it is. Yes, very much so. Thank you for that comment. Hare Krishna. All right. Anyone else has any comment or question? No? Okay. Thank you very much, dear devotees. We'll end with Vaishnava pranams. Let us offer our respectful obeisances to all the Vaishnava devotees of the Lord, who are just like desire trees, where they can fulfill the desires of everyone, and they're full of compassion for all the conditioned souls. Vancha kalpa tarubhyascha. So tomorrow is Hare Krishna. Just before we go, tomorrow is the second last day before Bhadra Purnima. Please, dear, we have 70 more spirits to offer to make our offering to Srila Prabhupada. Spread the word, encourage people to take Bhagavatam, to gift Bhagavatam, and let's see what we can do. Thank you very much. All glories to your service, all glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Prabhuji, Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji.